Ani Bozo, Chimigwech for that. I It brings me so much joy to have had you introduce me. Many people don't realize that our nations, the Maya people and the Anishinaabe, have been in communication for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And we've shared space way before the Canadian state or Europeans had come into our territory. So I smile at you because I know that our ancestors are watching us and acknowledging that we're continuing something that has been in existence, which is our relationship. So miigwech for that. Ani sego tanse washta khwanab in pimayin popti autolohom itza I shantiosh tetsan makomi choch tetsan makomi saakan I shantiosh tetnoch ak I shantiosh ishmokane I shantiosh ishpiekok I shantiosh tepu I shantiosh gugumatz creador y formador I shantiosh corazón del cielo I shantiosh corazón de la tierra I shantiosh mam ishnam I shantiosh mi ishnam I shantiosh ush lahu ish Ishantiosh Ahau. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for this SEMA, for the tobacco or sacred medicine, and having me come here today to share some words and to open up your space so that you're able to receive the wealth of knowledge that's going to be shared with you today. My spirit name is Autalohom Itza, which means a little yellow bird, the tiniest little yellow bird that you can find in the jungle in Central America. And this little bird stands at the top of the tallest tree, and when she uses her voice, all the other animals come back to be nourished, including the human being. And Itza comes from the Haudenosaunee concept, which is of this territory, because a few elders put my name together, and it means I have a good mind, a clear mind. And what the good mind represents is an understanding of gratitude for all that exists, not just the things that are nicely wrapped, but all the things that life presents to you. And I also carry another name called Sachche, which means that's the name that I got from the Anishinaabe people. I fast on their land every year for 4 days. They always joke that they find a little Mayan in the bush whenever they go out to the land. But Sachche, Sakbe is the first part, which means the sacred white road, and Che means deer. And so my name here is a white deer woman whose antlers are connected to the sky, but whose body is deeply rooted into the earth. So those are the two names that I carry. I come from what are known as the Popti people, from the traditional territory of Shakla, which is an energy that is created when the water in our territory talks to the grandfathers, the stones. And there's this huge splash of water, and that water generates an energy in your presence, which is known as Shakla, and that's who I am. That's the energy that birthed my existence on this earth for a little while. We still reside in our traditional territory till this day. I'm Deer Clan, which means that I have the roles and responsibilities as the deer does. I'm also a deer dancer, a monkey dancer, and a jaguar dancer. And the jaguar is a very important animal that has taught people many, many things. If you look at the back of a jaguar, there's all these little spots. And those spots are known as constellations. So every jaguar pelt is a map to the cosmos. And what that jaguar teaches you, if you've ever seen a jaguar walk, you're mesmerized because that jaguar embodies their whole being. They're fully rooted in the body. And the reason I'm introducing the jaguar a little bit more today is because in our sacred calendars, today is known as Oshlahu Ish, which means it's the day of completion related to the jaguar. So today we're all being engulfed in the energy of Ish, which is the feminine energy of the jaguar, which is what it means to fully live in your body. And so we extend our greetings and gratitude also to the grandmothers and grandfathers of this land, the grandmothers and grandfathers who have once been here, who are here, and the ones that are yet to come. We also extend our greetings and gratitude to the ancestors, my ancestors, your ancestors, and the ancestors of this land, the ones that have been here, the ones that are here, and the ones that are yet to come. We also extend our greetings and gratitude to the Anishinaabe people, the Three Fires Confederacy, the Haudenosaunee people of the Six Nations Confederacy, and we also acknowledge the Huron and the Wendat and the many other nations whose names we may not remember, and their unique being on this land. And we remember that Canada has only existed for 151 years, and those Indigenous nations exist today and have existed for way over 10,000 years, and have left us a wealth of knowledge and understanding that the world is now looking for. So when I was a really young kid, I used to say little, and that doesn't work because yeah. So when I was a young kid, I remember being called by the grandmas and grandfathers to come sit beside them. And I never understood why, but they would always say, just come sit here, and then the grandparents would start talking. And a long time ago, they shared that there would come a time when the world would knock on our door. And they would knock on our door, and that the young ones, myself at the time, had to be prepared to answer that door. And they would knock at our door because they would be asking us what we as Indigenous people understood about what it meant to be a human being and what it meant to live healthy as a human being. And if there's anything Indigenous people understand deeply and have evolved ways of life that understand it deeply, is what it means to be a human being and what it means to live well as a human being on earth. And so the time has now come that people are knocking at our doors and saying, what do you know about what it means to be a human being? Because when you look outside into our homes, our communities, our schools, our work, it's not going really well. And that doesn't mean that it's bad, it's just not working out the way that it was planned. And the reason is because one of the things that colonization did was create a separation from yourself with all of creation and the Creator. And as a result of that separation, we don't really understand what it means to be a human being. As Indigenous people, we've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of years creating a way of life with a sacred connection to the heart of the sky and the heart of the earth, to develop ways of life that help us become good human beings. And we understand that you are multidimensional. You have a mind, a soul, a spirit, and a physical body, and that all of those have to be functioning in balance. And you're an elemental being, so you have air, you have a physical body, which is your earth, you have fire, and you have water. And those elements have to be completely in balance. And right now, more than ever, we don't know how they work together. We don't understand what's going on with our children. We don't understand why so many of us are struggling with our mind and our physical body. And as Indigenous people, we do carry answers to those. And if you look at your the objectives or the hopes that you have for your structures or systems, you're really looking for an Indigenous system. You're just doing it all over again. So what gets in our way? What gets in our way when we come to a land that has those ways of life in place, and now we're trying to recreate it and not exactly sure how? What gets in our way? And oftentimes what gets in our way is an inability to say, I don't know. I just don't know. It's called surrendering. And until we're able to say, we don't know how to fix this, then that's humility. Then you can open up, and Indigenous people can say, here's what we know about what it means to be a human being. You must live deeply rooted in your body. That's the earth. And most of us don't know that depth of connection because this isn't the land of our ancestors. And when we came, we didn't ask about the spirit of this land. We simply created something on top of it. And no matter what you do or how much you believe in the systems and structures you have, the earth will reclaim her sovereignty every single time. And so my mom, Gajiji Wax, the one that shakes the flowers, she said that any time that I share a message, that I have to speak about the Handa Gariadekwa, which is the Thanksgiving address. And as we do the Thanksgiving address, I'm going to ask you to listen very carefully to each piece of the address, because it's not separate from you, it's within you. So as I greet these parts of creation, I'm greeting parts of you. And so we extend our greetings and gratitude to Grandfather Sun that reminds us that there's a fire inside of us called passion, that you're meant to wake up like a little kid that says, "What's going on today, Mom?" with energy and excitement. And if you're dragging your feet every day, your fire might be too low. It's a fire that generates curiosity, which propels you through life, so that you open every single door in the room that you walk into without hesitation, or you look at somebody and you shake their hand, or you go up to them simply because you're curious. That's our Grandfather Sun. And we extend our greetings and gratitude to Grandmother Moon. Grandmother Moon that balances that curiosity and that fire with the water. Because you might introduce yourself to somebody who might hurt you and make you sad, but you're able to release the memory through the water and balance so that you never get stuck. So if you open a door and something falls out, instead of telling yourself you should just sit there and stop doing that, you'll just cry a little and go open a few more doors. It's the balance between the grandfathers and the grandmothers. We extend our greetings and gratitude to the stars, the beautiful stars that remind us that there is this iron or magnetic field within you that generates a connection and a pushing away at all times. We extend our greetings and gratitude to the tree relations that remind us what it is to stand in alignment and authenticity with who you really are, and that when you're really connected to your spirit, to your being, to your essence, there's no need to push or be pushed. You simply stand and allow others to stand alongside you. That's true leadership. We extend our greetings and gratitude also to the 4 directional winds that are now very, very strong. Those 4 directional winds that remind us that when the heart is not open, it's hard to breathe. And the heart can't be open if you're not breathing. And the reason we hold our breath is because we're scared. So we acknowledge those 4 winds that remind us that in order to move, you have to be willing to breathe. We extend our greetings and gratitude also to the earth herself, our mother, who reminds us what it is to hold space without judgment. We plant a seed till this day and something will grow. That's called unconditional love. If she had our ego, we'd be in a lot of trouble for the things that we do to her every single day. So it's about holding space without judgment. And that's a beautiful, beautiful teaching that she gives us. We extend our greetings and gratitude also to the water itself. In indigenous culture, water is memory, and memory is time. And if you want to be healthy, don't hold time so that you can be present. We extend our greetings and gratitude also to those animals that remind us what it is to be a good human being. It takes a lot of humility to connect to the animals, but it's those animals that gave indigenous people all our original teachings. So if you want to know about balance, you would talk to the deer. She reminds you that in order to know power, you have to know the opposite. In order to know strength, you need to know weakness. If you want to talk about networking and connection and teamwork, talk to the spider. If you want to learn about how things are held together, talk to the whale. She'll teach you what it means to live in high frequency. That's why they send out their songs through their voice, and we do ceremonies for them. But most of us spend a lot of money and a lot of time trying to recreate something that's just outside our door, waiting for you to discover it with great humility, right? We extend our greetings and gratitude also to the plant medicines, the ancient herbs of bean, corn, squash, rice, that have sustained us and have shown us what it is to live and to create abundance. We extend our greetings and gratitude also to the thunder beans that remind us that when a space is very toxic and full and nobody wants to tell the truth, those thunder beans remind us that that sharpness of the truth will create more space to breathe. Every time a thunderstorm hits, we can breathe better. We feel refreshed. So if there's an elephant in the room, you can remember about those thunder beans, and someone has to have the courage to tell the truth in that space. But it's sharp. We extend our greetings and gratitude also to the beautiful birds that sing their songs and remind us what a joy it is to be alive. We extend our greetings and gratitude also to all the different messengers that have come at different times, whether it was Buddha, Nanabozo, the Peacemaker, Shwan Kanil, Jesus, Muhammad, Krishna, whoever has come at different times to share their enlightenment with us so that we might know what it means to be a good human being. We also extend our greetings and gratitude to every single human being that's present. Every single human being in indigenous culture has something to contribute to the world. And it's up to us to be able to foster a relationship with ourselves to understand what that is. But you picked one of the hardest planets to live on. According to my people, it is hands down the hardest because you have what we call an elemental body. So you have earth, and your body, your earth, the only job of it is to feel. So you're a sentient being, you're a feeling being, and so you have to move through a physical world feeling. And if you want to understand what's wrong with our way of life right now, we don't like feelings. That's why we live up here in our minds. And so indigenous people say, come back to the body, come back to the earth. Because if you're going to live here, you have to be willing to feel. And there is nothing you can possibly create that will ever surpass the capacity of your body, the earth, to transform life and create. But you have to know how to work it. And that's where indigenous people come in. We extend our greetings and gratitude also to that source of all of us, which is known as Songwaya Diso, or Gichi Manito, the Great Spirit, or the Creator, Allah, God, whichever way you refer to that great energy or that great mystery and that spirit, for bringing us together and knowing that at the end of the day, we're all just one, all of us. And so that is the Honda Gari Adekwa, the Thanksgiving address. And I'm just human, so I may have forgotten a part of creation in that address. But if you listen closely, I'm describing you. I'm describing all the parts of you and greeting all the parts of you. And so when we finally understand that you cannot live as an elemental being on this earth without your connection to all those parts of creation, all your relations, we're going to struggle a little bit. And I know that the day will come when people will finally say, we don't know. Show us how to do this. Because this is the spirit of this land. And this is how you come home to who you really are. So miigwech, nyawagoa, shintios. Have a good day. Thank you.